evening, everyone, and welcome to another week of Beyond the Veil. How is everyone this week?
Good.
Good, yeah?
Yep.
We're seeing Kels, we're seeing a lot of from your head to the ceiling. Can you move your camera so we see a little bit more of you? That's the better one, yep.
Hang on. Bear with me.
There you go. Ah, that's perfect. Right. Okay.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
tonight we are discussing the subject of possession, supposedly demonic possession. So, trigger warning, there are going to be some pictures and there are going to be some video and some audio that people may find disturbing or triggering. We will give you the heads up before that's going to go ahead. One of us will. I will probably forget, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
So let's get cracking. Let's rock straight into it, shall we? So what we're going to do tonight is the girls are going to present two cases each, Kels and Susie. So they're going to present one very, very well-known case, and then they're going to present one not so well-known case. And then I'm going to finish up with talking about a few of the exorcisms that have gone down in New Zealand. So it'll be quite New Zealand specific. So, hey, Tony, nice to see you, mate. How you doing? Hope you had a good week. Always love Tony coming in. Tony's in every week. And it's a bad week. Tony's not in. Right. So let's get started. So what Susie's going to do is we're going to go with the more famous cases first. So we'll get Susie to present her her most famous case that she did. And then we'll get Kels to do her most famous case. Hey, Scotty, how you doing? Nice to see you. And then what we'll do is we'll do a swap around, and then they'll both do their not so famous case. So they've got a lot of good information. So bear with us because we're going to have a lot to get through tonight. So I guess first off, Susie, let's go with your most famous case. So who did you end up looking into?
Cool. So my first one is the case of Roland Doe. Some people may not know, that name may not ring a bell, but if you've seen the movie The Exorcist, that's based on this guy, or should I say kid. So the Roland Doe exorcism refers to a 1949 Catholic exorcism performed on a 14-year-old boy rather than a girl as in the movie.
And Roland Doe was a pseudonym, wasn't it?
It was. He had another pseudonym, which was Robbie Mannheim, but his real name was actually Ronald Edwin Hunkeler.
That's right.
So we'll call him Ronald for the sake of
Argument.
Okay, that's his real name. So he was born in 1935, and he was allegedly possessed after he began using a Ouija board to contact his deceased aunt, who was the one who had actually taught him about spiritualism and the use of Ouija boards. His family noted strange things started happening in the family home shortly after the aunt's death. But it wasn't until around 1949 that they started reporting hearing strange dripping noises and scratching sounds, and things sort of amplified from there. Ronald's mother initially connected the noises to the dead aunt, so the family started trying to reach out to the spirits in the hopes that reasoning with them and asking them to leave them alone would solve things. Instead, it caused the activity to increase. So it moved on, and Ronald claimed he could hear someone in his room at night. Then scratch marks began to appear on his mattress and then also on his body. That caused the family to call their local minister, who suggested they contact the Jesuits. So the family weren't Catholic. I don't even know if they were Christian, to be honest. But the family ultimately converted to Catholicism and attempted to have Ronald baptized, which failed dramatically because he responded to fits of unbridled rage every time they tried to baptize him. Yeah. So he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital and unsuccessfully treated. The family, not wanting to bring him home for fear of the activity increasing, moved into a different house with him, thinking that would make the spirits leave them alone. Things continued. So feeling out of options, the family called upon multiple priests, including Father Raymond J. Bishop and Father William S. Bowden, to conduct an exorcism. At one point, Bowden attempted to protect Ronald through blessings by putting a crucifix under his pillow, general things like that. But after leaving him to rest, the family returned to find furniture had flipped, the crucifix was moved to the edge of the bed, and the mattress was shaking uncontrollably. That led priests to move on and perform an exorcism, including, multiple exorcisms actually, one of which was at Georgetown University Hospital, which was a Jesuit hospital.
That's right.
And another took place at the Alexian Brothers Hospital in South St. Louis, Missouri. While the exorcisms were performed, Ronald vomited, urinated, spit, spoke in Latin, took on a deep adult-sounding voice that was unfamiliar to anyone that knew him, which we see in the movie The Exorcism. Very similar there. The final exorcism was conducted with the help of the priests Walter Halloran and William Van Roo. And at some point during the ritual, Halloran's nose was broken. There doesn't seem to be any clear evidence of when or how. It just ended up broken. And in the end, the priests claimed they were successful in exorcising the demons from Ronald's body. He actually went on to live a really normal life and only passed away in 2020. So,
Wow.
go figure.
He worked for NASA. Didn't he end up working for NASA?
I think he did.
As an engineer? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly enough, there's also, now I don't know how true it is, but there is a story, and I can't remember to do with what exorcism, that was successful. I cannot remember, but apparently the demons went into the priest, and the priest is held in a cell in one of the Jesuit monasteries.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So I have read, but as I say, I don't know how, it's a rumor. I don't know how true it actually is. All right, so Cows, we're going to do your famous one now. Sorry, Susie, have you finished?
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to keep it short and sweet.
Okay, sweet. Right, Cows.
Okay, so my first case is the case of Annalise McCall, otherwise known as the Exorcism of Emily Rose, which was a movie in 2025. Just a trigger warning, some of the pictures that you're going to see are disturbing, so just note that. It's one of the most notorious and extensively documented cases of alleged demonic possession in modern history. She was born in Germany, and it happened in the 70s, and kind of blurs the lines between faith, mental illness, and tragedy. So if we can go to slide 2, Tracy.
I'm on it.
Yep. It's the inspiration for the movie, as I said, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which came out in 2005, sorry. Slide 3, please.
Done?
Yep. Annalise Michael was born on September 21st, 1952 in, and you're going to have to forgive my pronunciation, Bavaria, Germany. They were a very devout Catholic family, known for their strong religious convictions. Annalise was a bright, sensitive girl, deeply involved in her faith, but her life took a tragic turn in her teens when she began experiencing severe and unexplained neurological symptoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can we have slide 4, please? Floor, please.
Okay.
Floor, please. So the onset of her symptoms and her medical diagnosis in 1969 at the age of 16, she started experiencing symptoms such as seizures, auditory hallucinations, depression, and anxiety. Slides 5 to 6, please.
Slide 5's up.
Yep. Despite multiple medical evaluations, her condition remained undiagnosed, and let's face it, way back then they didn't have the technology we have now. So at the time she was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy and prescribed anticonvulsants. But her symptoms persisted and worsened over time. She claimed to see the devil. She heard voices, felt she was eternally damned. And this led her family and medical professionals to question whether her condition was purely physical or psychological. Subsequently, she was diagnosed with epileptic psychosis, which is quite a rare condition, but it is something that can be aligned with epilepsy. And this resulted in her being admitted to a psychiatric ward in Würzburg in Germany. Excuse my pronunciation again. Her mental health continued to deteriorate. It led to her family and Catholic priests believing that her symptoms might be more than psychological. They believed it might be demonic possession. So they kind of went down the road that she may need an exorcism. In 1974, her parents requested the church for an exorcism, which was denied on the basis that continuing medical treatment was the best course of action. Can we have slide 6, please, Tracy?
It's up. That's already up.
In 1975, after repeated appeals, her exorcism was approved by Bishop Joseph Stangl. Annalise underwent 67 exorcisms over the course of 10 months, performed by Father Arnold Renz and Father Ernst, using the Roman rite.
That's about 7 a month.
I know, it's ridiculous, right?
Far out.
So obviously, this decision would go down as one of the most controversial religious acts of the 20th century. Just ridiculous. So in September of 1975, her first official exorcism happened on the 24th of September. The priest believed that she was possessed by 6 demons: Judas, Nero, Cain, Hitler, a disgraced priest named Fleischmann, and Lucifer.
So hang on a minute. Did you say Hitler?
I did.
So when did Hitler become one of the Legion?
I have no idea. I'm just going off the literature.
Wow.
The sessions lasted up to 4 hours and were conducted as often as twice a week. So we have a video here, which is an audio video of Annalise speaking of the 6 demons. Again, trigger warning. Make sure your kids are not near shot. And if you're triggered, please don't listen.
Yeah, I actually really don't like this, but I'll play it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's give it a little while. Sorry, guys.
Nur gibt's nur dort, wo die Liebe ist.
Ja, bei uns gibt's nur
Hass.
definitivt nicht auf die anderen Universitäten. Kapiert?
Im Namen aller seligen Jungfrau, im Namen Jesu, befehle ich dir auszufahren.
Yeah, pretty scary, right?
Feck, I don't quite know what to say about that.
I know.
Okay, cool. That is, I hope I don't hear that in my sleep tonight. Seriously.
Me too.
and girls, just a heads up, if we're ever out investigating and this shit goes down, you're on your fucking own, all right? I'm gone. Gone. I'm out of there. I'm gonna get it.
Run.
You guys can sort it. Okay, Kels, you will have to delete those from the background, by the way, because I can't do it.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Delete. How do we delete
Okay.
it?
While you're doing that, there's a really good question that we're just going to show. Tony comes up with some blinders. I guess the obvious question is, does the panel agree that it's all true? I lean towards believing, due to known cases worldwide, dating back centuries and covering a wide range of diverse cultures. Do we believe? Well, that is, again, my personal opinion. No.
No, personally.
You're on, neither you, Susie? Yep. So there you go, Tone. The panel says no.
Okay.
Just out of, oh, we got Aotearoa from Poly Paranormal Hunters. Hey. Our mates. And he says he's with me on that one. So me and Tej will be gapping it, and we will leave you guys to deal with it, okay? Just saying. Yes, we covered Emily Rose, Tej. Susie covered it, I think, before you popped in. And that one that we were covering was Annalise Michael. So butterflies and Tej's ball bags. No fanny fluttering going on here, pal. I'm telling you that right now. More like trying to get back to Hamilton as soon as I can. Flying back. Okay. Right. So Kels,
we got slide 7.
There wasn't a slide 7.
Oh, okay.
We discussed that.
Okay.
So you
Slide
can get rid of that and then load up your others. And while you're doing that, we will go to Susie's not so popular case of possession. You're on. Oh, that's it. You're off mute now.
Yeah. I muted it because I've had barking dogs.
Bless.
So this one, I picked it because I didn't think it was particularly popular. As I got towards the end of my research, I learned that maybe that wasn't quite true. Maybe
okay. Kind of... Oh, well, that's okay. It doesn't matter.
So, I know I've never heard of it, so some people may have. But it is the story of Gottlieb Dittus. So she was a German woman who was allegedly possessed by multiple demons and exorcised over a period of years. Although some research says there were exorcisms, some say there weren't. So I will leave that up to you guys. So Gottlieb was born in 1815 in Mottlingen, Germany. And she lived a relatively normal life to begin with, albeit a little bit sickly. She was active in her church's youth group and was said to be surrounded by all kinds of magic practices as a child, even drawing relatives and acquaintances away from God as she was growing up. She was fairly poor, so she lived with her sisters, Anna Maria and Katerina, and her brother, Johann George, in the lower apartment of a shabby, narrow house. In the 1830s, so she would have been sort of 15, 16, she began experiencing trances, seizures, speaking in voices that were not her own. and having other sort of supernatural manifestations in her home, so noises, objects moving, things like that. Her family noted she would often fall to the floor unconscious, just like that, and then would come to and see shapes and lights. But they kept their experiences quiet for quite a while, until about 1941, when a priest named Johann Blumhardt became aware of the events. And someone provided him with a detailed report of Gottlieb's experiences. In particular, that she often saw a figure of a woman who had died 2 years earlier, carrying a dead child.
Wow.
So he told her to not enter into conversation with the woman, and he was quoted as saying, "It was certain one could land oneself in awful tangles and follies by becoming involved with the spirit world." He noted there were puzzling objects in the home, including chalk, salt, bones, coins, and burnt paper. But realistically, it was Germany, and these things are often used in folk healing. So,
Yeah.
if she'd been going through this for a few years, it's likely the family were trying to help her.
Mm.
Believing that the spirit world Gottlieb was in touch with was godless and demonic, Blumhardt increased his prayer for her, which just caused the activity to increase so much that they drew the attention of the entire village. Loud blows and knocking sounds could be heard, often coming from the floor near her bed. And at one point, she fell into such violent convulsions that her doctor, Dr. Spath, approached Blumhardt saying, "Leaving a sick person in such a state, one would think there is no one in this village to care for souls in need. There certainly isn't anything natural." Blumhardt shared what was happening with a Moravian missionary who reminded him to not forget his pastoral duty to the girl, which resulted in a 2-year period or slightly longer of Blumhardt visiting Gottlieb regularly, often bringing along his trusted friends, witnesses, including Dr. Spath. And he concluded the spirit haunting Gottlieb was a deceased soul in the devil's bondage. But at this point, he still refused to play the exorcist and do an exorcism, instead relying solely on prayer, fasting, and scripture. As things kept going, he eventually came to believe that Gottlieb was afflicted with many demons who often spoke blasphemous words through her various known and unknown languages. And refusing to speak with them, he would command them to keep silent, which they did. The battle seemed to rage on, so much so that Gottlieb actually attempted suicide, which had quite an effect. Her brother and sister then both began to experience similar demonic attacks, if you would call them that, and eventually exhausted, Blumhardt pressed on, and according to most of my research, around Christmas of 1843, he did eventually do an exorcism, which resulted in the end of it with them keeping watch with Gottlieb's sister Katerina for close to 40 hours, and the demonic spirits oppressing Katerina, howling, "Jesus is victor, Jesus is victor." I don't know why demonic.
Why would a demonic being say that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Multiple lots of my research sources of my research have said the same thing.
Wow.
So the phenomena and physical suffering stopped for all three. So for Gottlieb, her brother, and her sister. And according to my research, she underwent a complete transformation, continuing to live in the same town and getting married and having a number of children. She passed away on the 26th of January, 1872, so had a reasonably long life. It became one of the most famous cases of possession and poltergeist activity in Germany, and her home is now a museum. And I'm trying to say, so it's the Gottlieb House in Mottlington, and apparently her whole house is a museum dedicated to her possession and everything that happened. So, that was, I thought it was a very rare, unusual thing, and the further I got, the more I found that actually it's, really popular in Germany.
Wow.
Far out. Hey, listen, Lona's put up a post. He believes demonic possession is possible. He does not believe, however, that demons will be dumb enough to let other people know that they are there, especially if they are former heavenly beings. And you know what? There is a saying oh God, I can't remember it. Sorry, I'm gonna completely make a mess of this, but it's something like the greatest. Oh shit! The greatest trick that devil ever has pulled is to make people believe he doesn't exist. So, in other words, staying in the background, staying low. I have to say the same sort of thing as what Lona does. If there is a demon there or demons, because apparently there's never one, they're always legion, there's multiples,
Yeah.
then why would they bother telling everyone? Because, surely they know they're going to get their ass booted out of them, or at least attempted to have their ass booted out of them. But then if they are demons, perhaps they are incredibly egotistical.
Narcissists.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And you're right with the saying, Trace. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist.
Did not exist. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think we will leave our sum up till later on about with the research that we've done, the links. I mean, you just didn't we didn't just research as the cases that we're presenting. We looked at other ones briefly as well and decided upon which ones were going to be presented, type of thing. But I think we'll leave our summary of what we personally believe until the end, because there's a couple of links there's a couple of things that have kept cropping up in just about every single position that we've looked at. There's threads, if you like, that are incredibly common from position to position to position to position. So we'll deliver that at the end. Tej has just popped up with it. He does believe it's possible, considering that he was possessed when he was younger.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you time to type us some information on that, Tej. But yeah, tell us, what was the go with that?
If I could hear that.
Yeah, everyone would be interested, I'm sure. And Tony's asked Tej if there's known cases in the islands, and he's intrigued due to the lack of Western influence, which may contribute to falsification, which is not dissimilar to African cultures. And he says it respectfully. So I get what he's meaning there. And Tej has come back and said there are some cases, Tony. However, it's a very taboo subject. I've heard stories from my mother's village about this type of thing happening. I think, again,
generational thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll come to the threads that we've discovered at the end of the show. So I think this brings us to your last one, Kels.
Okay.
Doesn't it? So I will add your slideshow.
Okay.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. So my case is based on a girl who has only been known as Gina. 2020, which is a famous American news show or whatever, somehow managed to secure the filming of the exorcism of this young girl. So this was in April 1991. And it was kind of
fresh. Wow.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, as the other cases we've seen, it was like pretty much the emphasis was put on it's a possession, psychiatric issues don't matter, it's possession, end of story. Whereas in 1991, we're kind of getting to the point where medicine and psychiatry began to explain the demons that produce mental illnesses. Cardinal John O'Connor, the Archbishop of New York, was trying to pull back the exotic rite of exorcism because exorcism had kind of been washed away. So with the consent of a diocesan consultant, ABC's 2020 aired the exorcism of this girl, Gina, and we don't know her full name. We only know her as Gina. We know that she was living in Florida. She was 16 years old, and 2020 followed her for the case of for the span of 12 months. So the segment featured two priests, one identified as Father A because he wanted to be anonymous, and the other anonymous, and Reverend James Labar.
Do you want me to move any slides or anything, or
Not yet.
okay?
So the ABC producers got releases from Gina, her mother, her parents, so they were all in agreement. Yep, you can film the exorcism, whatever. But it has been said that the 26-minute segment was more Geraldo than High Mass. The ceremony itself at times seemed a little more than the gratuitous torment of a deeply disturbed young girl, which indicates she was probably having psychiatric issues, and they used exorcism to kind of negate that. Dr. Warren Schlanger, who was Jenna's psychiatrist at the time.
Schlanger.
Schlanger.
Oh my God. Okay.
Schlanger. He was her psychiatrist at the Miami Children's Hospital before and after the exorcism. He said the ceremony was a significant risk to her health. If part of her delusion is that she's possessed, it just might confirm the delusion, he said. So that says a lot. Okay, so we've got a trigger warning here. Slide 3, please.
What's the trigger warning about that?
Well, just the pictures. I mean, they might be disturbing to some people.
Gosh,
So
are we really that woke that we have to give bloody trigger warnings for this kind of thing?
Oh, well, we live in a snowball society.
No, I'm not giving trigger warnings for this kind of stuff. Get on with it. Suck it up. If you don't like it, click out.
I mean, normally I wouldn't give a trigger warning, but you just don't friggin' know in this day and age, do you? Like, there's so many cotton wool and friggin'
Yeah, but how about just not giving a shit about it in the first place? And then everyone just has to suck it up and get on with it, don't they?
That's the way it is. Yeah.
Or change the channel if you don't like it.
Yeah. Oh shit. I've lost my. Here we go. So it's been known by many names. This demon that was possessing her throughout the centuries, the devil, Beelzebub, Satan, Lucifer. The church is quoted as saying that throughout the ages, the devil is a fallen angel who's lost his identity with God, but he didn't lose the powers that he had. And years ago, mental disorders such as Tourette's, schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, epilepsy, etc., were misdiagnosed as cases of possession, which we've seen in more historic cases.
Yeah.
So as modern science began to show that these were medical problems, the practice of exorcism went down.
Interesting.
But cue the release of the movie The Exorcist in 1973.
And they went up.
Which was based on Roland Doe, which is the case that Susie was describing earlier. And all of a sudden, exorcisms went up.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit. Anyway, in 1990, at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan, exorcisms rose again. John Cardinal O'Connor warned that the devil was real His presence was spreading, and exorcism was being used to rid people of their demons. Can we please cue video 1?
Sure.
Process that can take over 6 months before the church will approve an exorcism. Father, how carefully are the subjects screened before an exorcism is agreed to?
The first thing we want to do is make sure they have no medical problems that they're falsely attributing to diabolical powers.
Then I will sit down with a couple of psychiatrists as well as psychologists that I know will go over the cases and talk about them.
The 4 major signs that we look for in someone we suspect is possessed would be, first of all, they would have great strength. Then they have levitation. They will rise off the ground with no particular reason. Then they'll have clairvoyance. They'll be able to tell you something that happened at a distance, something they couldn't possibly know. And then generally they will speak in languages that they never studied.
Sometimes the person will react just by the fact that I've come, and as a result of it, we have an indication that there is something there.
Other experts in the church are less certain about the procedure. With experience as both a Jesuit priest and a psychiatrist, Dr. James Gill has extensive knowledge in the realm of religion and the science of the mind.
So I think there's a tendency to interpret what you see in terms of the background that you have. So that if you have a background in theology, you're inclined to think theologically and think, well, maybe this is a battle of evil versus good, Satan versus God, and to quickly rush in with that interpretation.
Exactly. It's all subjective at the end of the day.
Yeah, it has to be said.
Yeah. I mean, Gina claims she was hearing voices, seeing strange things such as demons and dead people, but psychologically and for years she'd been having violent seizures during which she would spit, vomit, scream, and hear strange voices, which can be obviously psychiatric.
Of course.
But of course the go-to was, it's an exorcism. She actually spent 2 months in the Miami Hospital Children's Psychiatric Ward. She was treated by Dr. Schlanger, and she was diagnosed as having recurring psychotic episodes. Can we please cue video 2?
No more slides at this stage?
No slides, no.
Okay, just bear with me a second because video 2 is just loading.
Spent 2 months in the Miami Children's Hospital psychiatric ward, where she had been treated by Dr. Warren Slanger.
She was actively psychotic, very agitated, and was having marked difficulty functioning even as it relates to basic self-care.
Gina was diagnosed as having recurring psychotic episodes. In your studies, your actual cases and practices, have you ever seen anyone possessed?
No.
That you thought was possessed?
Never have.
Do you think there's such a thing?
Personally, I would doubt it.
So that's coming from a psychiatrist. So after her 2 months in the Miami Children's Hospital Psychiatric Ward with Dr. Schlanger, she returned home and her symptoms persisted. So her mother reached out to the Catholic Church. And after 6 months of investigation, which included therapists, doctors, and nurses, they concluded it was a case of demonic possession, and an exorcism was approved by the church, which is a bit sad. And just before the rite of exorcism, Gina became violent. Can we cue video 3, please?
Then, during a break, while the team prepares to begin the rite of exorcism, Gina becomes violent.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I silence Minga. I command the spirit of evil to leave now.
Me don't want to leave. We don't want Gina.
Praise be Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. I was trying to stress to her how important it is that if she really wants help, she has to help us. Command the spirit of evil. Then all of a sudden that insidious face changed where Gina was no longer present. That's when the entity started to manifest itself by speaking and revealing who he was.
My name is Minga.
Minga, I command Minga.
Can the person undergoing this say stop, halt, I've had enough?
We have to be sure that it's the person speaking. You want pain? I'll give you pain. If during the course it's the entity masking himself and trying to make us believe that I'm fine, leave me alone, this is where we continue until we're sure that we have what we started. Why aren't you praying, Gina?
Here.
No, you're not.
I'm here.
Just as quickly as the episode began, it's over. Months to observe any long-term effects. While still on medication, Gina's just come home from her first days back at school.
I feel much better. Thanks to God that He liberated me from evil, and I had a lot of bad things happen to me in the beginning, but I'm much better now, and I'm very happy now. I feel free.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm in the camp that it's psychiatric illness over and above. But the shit these kids have been put through because of their family's devout
belief system,
commitment to Catholicism or whatever. It's really sad. It makes me sad. It makes me mad. Like, they didn't have to go through that stuff.
Well, I don't know what to say on any of it, actually. I'm kind of gobsmacked after watching some of that, so I'm just going to move it on and quickly. Let's talk about some possession cases in New Zealand. Okay, there hasn't been that many that have been widely known. I'm not saying that there hasn't been that many. I'm saying there hasn't been that many that the rest of us have got to find out about. So we'll talk about the ones that we have managed to find out about. So I've kind of done it in a little bit of a timeline. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Exorcism of Joanna Lee. So this happened in Auckland in December of 2000, so 25 years ago. So there was a guy called Luke Lee, no relation to Joanna Lee, who was the pastor of Lord of All Christian Sect Church. Anytime there's a Christian sect, I get quite jittery, to be quite honest with you. So the exorcism that he supposedly bestowed upon Joanna, God. Well, he stated that she was possessed by at least 20 demons. And according to report, yes. And according to reports, the exorcism consisted of him sitting on her chest, bouncing up and down on her body, of which he actually broke bones doing it, and finally strangling her. He then realized she was dead, but was that delusional? He said she was going to reanimate, so instructed his followers to videotape her corpse, so that it was all on video when she reanimated. The body stayed.
Who's the sick one here?
Sorry?
Who's the sick one here?
Exactly. The body stayed rotting in the house for over a week. And it was only when a visitor came and actually alerted the authorities. Now, this little freak, Luke Lee, entered New Zealand on a student visa. Okay? He'd been previously convicted of fraud in South Korea, and he'd also spent prison time there. He was convicted and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. But I don't know what you call it, deportation order was made against him.
Yeah.
And so what he did was he what's the word I'm looking for? Appealed the conviction, right? And it was actually overturned by another judge. In the meantime, they wanted to take it to a retrial and took it to a retrial. But during that period, the deportation order had been executed and he'd been deported back to South Korea anyway.
Yeah, off your fuck, you sick cunt. Yeah.
Which actually saves the taxpayers a lot of money at the end of the day, let's face it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the sick one there, and the one that was actually possessed by demons was actually Luke Lee. Which brings us to the next one, which was in October of 2007 in Wainuiomata, which, for those who don't know, is near Wellington City, our capital.
Mhm.
So this was the possession of Janet Moses, or the exorcism of Janet Moses, a 22-year-old Māori woman. So she died during a supposed makutu lifting ceremony. Let me just make this quite clear right now, because I want to be appropriate to the culture.
Be sensitive, yeah.
Yep. There has been a huge amount of independent people that stepped forward on this case, right? That had the experience and the knowledge to distance this particular makutu lifting, as they know it, from the events in this case, because the ceremony did not resemble a makutu lifting ceremony, and nor did the people who were performing it have absolute any knowledge of or training in makutu lifting.
So, can I ask, would that be equivalent to a non-Catholic priest who wasn't approved
Performing the Catholic rites of exorcism? Yes, it would.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, yeah. Someone untrained and unversed in the actual ceremony itself. So a makutu lifting should be done, from what I can gather, by a tohanga. Now, makutu is a Māori or te reo word for sorcery, curse, witchcraft, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a curse that's been put on somebody. A tohanga is a priest. They did consult a komatua in this instance, and a komatua is an elder of the tribe. But they did consult a komatua, and he advised, because it was all about a stolen lion statue from a Greymouth hotel that one of her relatives stole. Okay. Don't ask me how this affected her, but apparently it did. The komatua, being a typical down-to-earth elder, said, well, take the lion back to the hotel for starters. And he prayed over her and he blessed her. However, the family, and there was 9 members of them, 9 very close family members that were involved, took it further and took matters into their own hands. So what they did during the ceremony was pour water down her throat, and the amount of water that was supposedly used, and it was consistently poured down her throat over a period of 6 hours. Actually, no, it started the night before. It was 6 hours. It continued when they moved her to somewhere else. They actually cut a hole in the floor of the house they were in so the water could drain away, because it was that sodden in the room that they were in.
So she was essentially waterboarded to death.
She was drowned, yeah.
Yeah.
So during the trial, it was suggested that Janet was suffering from an underlying psychiatric or psychological disorder. And unbelievably so, the family members involved in this debauched makutu lifting ceremony only received community-based sentences. No custodial sentences applied.
Absolute bullshit.
It was that was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, in my opinion. The next one that I come to is actually, and on that Janet Moses one, I've put a link in our description, so that you can go and watch the documentary that was made on it. So there is a movie about it. So go and give it. I'm pretty sure it's a documentary. I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure it's a doco. You can go. Whose dog's barking?
Oh, that's mine. Sorry.
You can go and give it a read.
Shut up, Galadriel!
Oh, Jesus. Put yourself on bloody mute, woman. Christ almighty. Right. So the next one is from 2023 to 2025. So very, very recent.
Yeah.
And it's not about an individual exorcism, but it's about multiple exorcisms.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
In New Zealand?
Yes, in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
So you will find a link in the description because Paddy Gower did an expose on it. Pardon me, excuse me, just burped there. Paddy Gower did an expose on it, and I've put the link in the description. It's very, very interesting. It's not very long. It's only about 26 minutes or something, so go and watch that for sure. But it's about a traditionalist Catholic bunch of priests from the Sons of the Most Holy Redeemer in Christchurch. They have been accused of performing prolonged, unsanctioned exorcisms on their parishioners. So Paddy Gower did a year-long investigation into this, looking at this group, and he spoke with numerous ex-members, ex-parishioners, and numerous ex-priests, and they all pretty much said the same thing. So what happened was, even though the bishop in Christchurch has been contacted numerous times by ex-priests of the order and ex-parishioners, he did nothing about it. Eventually, the Vatican caught wind of it, and they ordered an investigation to take place immediately. So another bishop from Australia flew over.
That's pretty major, isn't it?
Yeah.
To
The
Christchurch.
Little old New Zealand.
Pardon?
Little old New Zealand.
Oh, it's big news, mate. It's huge
Yeah.
news. A Vatican ordered an investigation to take place. The bishop flew over from Aussie too, so it was considered to be unbiased, from anyone within our country.
Yeah.
And found that psychological abuse of the parishioners and unsanctioned exorcisms had indeed taken place.
Wow.
So the Vatican had given 2 orders of a sanctioned exorcism to occur, but there had been another 4 or 5 exorcisms that had not been sanctioned by the church, and the church really frowns on that. Like, that's really bad.
Yeah.
So this resulted in the whole church being expelled from the diocese and the priests being stripped of their religious faculties.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, pretty hardcore.
It's a big move. Yeah.
Yep. Now, interestingly enough, it's only 3 months ago. August, 3 months ago.
Wow. Yeah.
In August of this year, the group appealed to the Vatican so that they could continue their public ministry, right? And the Vatican said, absolutely not under any circumstances. Chuck their appeal out. So this particular, I believe this particular group of people have gone off to do their thing, but outside of the Catholic Church.
That's bad.
So that's it in a nutshell.
What, just out of curiosity, what would happen if they can, obviously they've been stripped of their rights. What happens if they keep doing exorcisms? But outside
there's nothing they can do about it because the church has thrown them out and the church has stripped them of theirs, so they don't belong to that church anymore. They can do whatever the hell they like. Then it becomes, excuse me, then it becomes a criminal, I guess, excuse me, issue after that
Yes,
point.
civil issue. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people like that aren't going to stop, are they? So, how many people are going to get hurt in the wake of that?
Oh, how many people already have been?
Random people that aren't consecrated by the church can just go, oh, we'll do an exorcism, blah, blah, blah. We're all
Listen,
good.
yes,
Get away with
yes,
it.
yes, they can. Because years and years ago, when I was in the police force in the UK, there was one night we were doing a patrol and we got called to a park where a woman had reported her house backed onto the park, these blood curdling screams coming from the park. So about 3 cars all got, sidelined, and we're running through this park in the pitch dark, and we literally fell across them. And there was a guy and a girl, and she was up against a tree, and he had her by her throat, but he was performing an exorcism.
No.
That's what he told us.
Fuck.
Yep. There was a bottle of whiskey there. And my sergeant turned around and said, but you don't have whiskey when you perform exorcisms, do you? And then he turned around, he put the fear of God into him. He said, what do you think your priests in your church would have to say about this? And he goes, oh, they wouldn't be very happy. And he goes, no, I can't imagine that they would be. But yeah, that's what he was doing. So, I mean, anyone can think that they can do this sort of thing and can go ahead and do it. You're always going to have idiots that follow and believe people who are just out for pure control at the end of the day. And that's what this group in New Zealand was out for. I mean, when you're talking about abuse and you're talking about forced exorcisms, and these exorcisms were also on children as well, then you're talking about people who have serious control issues, or serious issues of exerting control over others, and that's what this Catholic group in New Zealand were like until the Vatican excommunicated them all, stripped them of their priestly faculties, and shut them down out of the diocese and said, "You don't belong with us anymore." So it happens here, and this is only this year. It all erupted in 2024.
Are you telling me that any random John Doe can go up to someone who hasn't been consecrated by the church or whatever and go, I'm going to perform an exorcism on you?
If that idiot is willing enough to let them, then yes.
Fuck me. I mean, don't fuck me, but shit. That's scary. That's really scary.
Well, I mean, that can happen to anybody, but you're going to have to be the idiot that gives them the permission to do it, aren't you, at the end of the day?
True. Yeah, but I mean, people are influential, especially, like you say, kids.
Kids go with what their parents tell them. Kids go with what their church elders tell them at the end of the day, you know. And to know that's happening in little old New Zealand, but little old New Zealand's had a lot of strange sex in it, mate. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about SECTS, sex.
I love that you had to clarify that, Trace.
I've got to hear, I said strange sex. So, yeah, strange sex.
CTs. Yeah.
CTs. Yeah. You just got to talk about the one that was down the South Island. You got to talk about the Brethrens for starters. You got to talk about Centrepoint Church in Auckland.
Look at Tamati.
There's very strange people around and strange religious orders around in this country. Yeah. But for that one to be under the Vatican and the Vatican to pull their finger out their backside, do an investigation and say, right, you're kicked out of the diocese and you're stripped of your priestly faculties, you no longer belong to the Catholic Church, is pretty big.
Especially in little old New Zealand. We're just
a boil on the back of the world, basically. A pimple on the ass of the world. Yep. Pretty much we are, yes.
We're a fart on the back of the world.
Right over there.
That pretty much concludes the live stream for tonight, and it's been an hour. So we hope you've had some interesting info delivered to you. Hope it hasn't been too boring. Let us know if it has.
I think
We don't
it's been
care
pretty.
anyway. But no, we do. We
Yeah.
do. I'm only joking.
I know. I want to take
Here's one
Germany.
earlier. Hang on. Just going to put that up.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a group of paranormal investigators in Hawke's Bay where someone was dealing with an exorcism and one member was caught with his pants down?
Oh,
Scotty, I love you. Let's
who
get
was
into
that?
Let's get into this.
Do
Yes.
tell.
Okay, so it ran a little bit differently than that. This guy was a medium.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And he was part of a paranormal group. I don't know who it was. It was for a very short period of time. But this particular thing that he did, he wasn't with the paranormal group when he did it. He was in the guise of being a medium and helping out this boy, supposedly. And yes, you're quite correct, Scotty. That is what happened. According to the papers, at any rate, that is what happened.
I'm picking him as figuratively, not literally.
No, literally.
Oh, literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That is not funny. He was with a kid. He was with a 15-year-old boy or something.
That's bad.
I can't remember the guy's name. I tell you who does know. Barbara Casney knows. She told me about it. And then I went looking it up online, and yes, I found it. I found the news report. Sorry?
Now I want to find it and look it up.
Now you want to find it?
Yeah.
Well, just put medium. Oh, I don't know. What would you put? I don't know. Let's all have a look, shall we?
Yeah,
come on, Uncle Google. Oh, look, there we go. Found.
Oh, you found it?
Do we want a name and shame?
Hell yes, do we? Did he get convicted? Did he get convicted?
The line on the 23rd of May, 2018. Spiritual medium Craig Wright found guilty of indecent assault.
That's him.
It was a 17-year-old male during a ritual cleansing.
There you go.
What do you get for it?
Probably second community service.
Slap on the wrist.
Guilty in court. 2-day trial. He was remanded on bail to be sentenced. And when asked by the judge if he understood the proceedings, he said, "I'm very shocked."
What the fuck?
The maximum penalty for indecent assault is 7 years imprisonment.
I don't know what he got. I can't remember
He probably got a slap on the wrist.
There you go. He got home D. He got home detention.
I told you. Yeah.
8 months home detention.
Absolute bullshit.
And you know why? That's probably because the judge was
system
of the same inclination.
Fucking joke. Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. Anyway, little bit of a tangent there, but yeah, that's another case of something going down in New Zealand that shouldn't be going down, and that's including his pants in that circumstance. But there you go. Okay, so let's end on that note, shall we? But we all know, like, come on, we all know how many dodgy fucks are in the paranormal field.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or are trying to be in the paranormal field. And then there'd be more than you think.
Still trying to convince people that demons possess people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that demonic possessions don't exist, but I am saying they've been extremely inflated.
Hang on a minute. We haven't summed up what we found through our little expose of going down demon lane here, possession lane here, skipping through the daisies on exorcisms and possessions. Yeah. The major big thing that I see out of all the different cases that we've looked at in depth and really quickly is that, one, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's a thread that runs through it all. 2, it's a religious thing.
Yep.
That's a thread that runs through it all. And what was the third one we discussed?
Psychological.
3, yes, there's always psychological or psychiatric issues that have previously been found to be present prior to exorcisms.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's really hard to find a psychiatrist that is not solely scientifically based and that
that's the job, though.
Does have a little bit of theology in his background to be able to draw on as well. And, you know, like quite often I've thought, well, how many people are sitting in insane asylums, or should we say psychiatric hospitals, that actually are either possessed or haunted or whatever, have an attachment, whatever you might, you know, whatever you want to call it, for whatever level you want to look at. How many of those are sitting in psychiatric hospitals that a good banishment or a good exorcism could take care of? But when you take them out of those, the ones that we've seen, when you take them out of those psychiatric hospitals and people start saying, okay, so that shit hasn't worked, so it's got to be possession, neither has that worked. The only case that we've seen it actually work that we can find is, Susie, your Roland Doe case.
Well, that second one, she was fine and apparently completely changed afterwards.
Oh, Gina. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but do we know if she suffered from psychological issues after the TV thing? We don't.
Is it mind
that
over?
was
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually don't know if she did suffer any psychological issues further down the track, which she could very well have done. But the only one that I can see that hasn't ended up dying during an exorcism and went on and didn't have any, that we know of, any further issues, either demon or psychiatric, was Roland Doe, because he went on to be a very high functioning member of society as an engineer for NASA.
Yeah.
In saying that, do we have any cases of people that are supposedly possessed that have no religious or cultural background in Catholicism or beliefs
Catholicism,
of demon, whatever? Like,
well, I think what we have to remember is it's not necessarily the person, it's the people around them that may be the ones that are rooted in the religion, not necessarily the individual that's getting the exorcism, especially when you're talking about kids, you know, anyone under the sort of age of 18.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of whatever those around them are thinking it is. But I think one of them that you went through tonight actually did have no religious affiliations. Wasn't that Gina's parents?
No, they did. They were devout Christians. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But of the Colombian persuasion.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I recommend anybody to go and watch. There was a documentary done on Father Amorth, who was the chief exorcist for the Vatican. And he let a camera crew follow him around. And one of the guys that was involved with it was William Blatty, who wrote or who produced or directed The Exorcist.
Right, yeah, he got the information. And
so I'm pretty sure he was involved in it because he had a lot to do with the doco. And they followed one woman around, particularly one woman who was going through multiple exorcisms. which was a little bit scary, actually. Not the exorcism, but the way she acted at the end of it all towards him. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't. It's like anything, I'm a paranormal investigator because I want to see something. I want to capture something. And that would be no different than I'm not going to 100%, like, I have ideas that there's something out there, but I don't know what it is exactly. But I'm not going to 100% believe in exactly what hauntings are and be able to describe them to a T unless I see one with my own eyes. So ghosts, yeah, that sort of thing, I need to see you with my own eyes. And that's going to be no different for me than actually saying that the devil exists.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm skeptical, but I'm open to it. But at the end of the day, unless I see it or feel it or experience it for myself, I'm not going to 100% believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and that's just my makeup.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a blind sheep. I come to my own conclusions and I do my own research to come to my own conclusions. And if those conclusions are unfavorable with others, like, I'm not been given a rat's ass since 1985, thanks.
Yeah.
So I don't care. They are my conclusions and I will, and I'll stick by them because that's at this particular point in time, that's the conclusion I've come to. That doesn't mean that that's not going to change. It could change in 3 weeks' time when I get some more information. And I reevaluate that, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about knowledge. It's never ending and it's ongoing. So every little bit helps and every little bit counts. But yeah, whether or not possession is real, is it real for the people that are around the person that is supposedly possessed? I'm sure it is. But that doesn't mean it's a demon that's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real in their heads. Whether it's real in reality are two different things.
So, I mean, I'm neither here. Scotty Stavis. What do you mean? Have you heard of Rachel Stavis? No. Who's Rachel Stavis? Google, girl.
Is that Stacey's?
No, Stavis, it says. Oh, she's an author. Is that who you're talking about? Oh, oh my God. Exorcist to the Stars.
Oh,
Female exorcist. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She's a world. The Stars implies to me that you're in it just for the fame. Like, you're not legit. You're just a fucking fake.
Just a fame whore. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting one. Yeah. We won't go into that.
Withhold sensation.
And yes, you can have female exorcists. Don't listen to anything any man in a dog collar tells you, because let's face it, they are ruled by the patriarchal church in the first place. There is absolutely no reason why a woman can't be an exorcist whatsoever. Give me one and I will knock you down on the floor with why you are wrong.
There are female priests, there are female bishops, archbishops, whatever. Yeah.
So it's just the typical patriarchal church trying to keep the power out of the female's hands. After all, remember, the power was always in the female's hands before Christianity came along anyway, when we're talking about the ancient cultures. So they were the priestesses. They were the ones that did all that sort of thing. But yeah, I agree, Scotty. Very interesting. I'd say fame whore. Definitely. I think that, you know what? I think people do have demons, but I think in everybody, cartoon I saw when I was a kid, now this is going back 55 years ago, and there's a little angel with a halo on one shoulder of the human, and there's a little devil with a pitchfork on the other. So that's how I view demons. I think we've all got demons. It just depends on, is the demon controlling you or are you controlling your demons?
And what is your interpretation of a demon?
Actually, I'd like to say, to be quite honest with you, that this is hell and humans are the epitome and humans are actually the demons.
Wouldn't disagree with that, to be fair. We are screwing things up left, right, centre.
And let's leave it on that note for the night, shall we? Get the fluck gone. All right. So thank you for joining us all, and thanks for everyone's comments and suggestions. We will see. What are we doing next week?
Good question.
Be a surprise.
Shall we surprise everybody or
surprise everyone?
Ooh.
Let me see. What are we going to talk about next week?
Oh, come on.
Let's see what is down. Okay, here we go. We have just done something that wasn't even on the schedule, so that was great. 28th of oh, we flipped it round. Oh, we jumped. Yeah, we jumped. Okay, next week we're going to talk about a haunted New Zealand location, and we're not going to tell you which one it is.
Exciting.
Yeah. So we will see you next week, guys. Same time, same channel. Have a good week. Night all.
Bye.